हमारे प्रिय युवा पार्लियामेंटेरियंस, चाइल्ड एडवोकेट्स और बाल अधिकारों के सभी रक्षक, जनवरी के इस सुनहरे दिन में आप सभी का स्वागत है। आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप अपने फ्रेंड्स, प्रिंसिपल्स, टीचर्स, क्लासमेट्स, कजन्स और सभी बाल अधिकारों जागरूक लोगों को इस प्रोग्राम से जुड़ने के लिए इनवाइट करें। All of you are requested to invite your friends, principals, teachers, classmates, cousins, and all child right conscious people to join this program today.
We would request all the child attendees not to share their personal information, for example, your contact number, email IDs, and social media handles. Please choose your preferred language. For those who want to listen to this session in English, Assamese, and Bengali, please select the interpretation option and mute the main session. Those who want to hear in Hindi, please select the Hindi interpretation channel and do not mute the main session. Those who wish to attend the session in sign language, please pin the video of Ms. Temsurella on your screen.
हम सभी उपस्थित बच्चों से अनुरोध करेंगे कि वे अपनी पर्सनल जानकारी साझा ना करें। उदाहरण के लिए आपका संपर्क नंबर, ईमेल आईडी और सोशल मीडिया हैंडल। कृपया अपना पसंदीदा भाषा चुनें। उन लोगों के लिए जो सत्र को अंग्रेजी, आसामीज और बंगाली में सुनना चाहते हैं, कृपया व्याख्या विकल्प चुनें और मुख्य सत्र को म्यूट करें। जो लोग हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं, कृपया हिंदी व्याख्या चैनल का चयन करें और मुख्य सत्र को म्यूट ना करें। जो लोग सत्र में सांकेतिक भाषा में भाग लेना चाहते हैं, कृपया मिस टेम्सुरेला के वीडियो को अपनी स्क्रीन पर पिन करें। So before we begin, I would request all the parliamentarians to write MP before their name. Thank you. यहाँ उपस्थित सभी लोगों का 10th नेशनल इंक्लूसिव चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट में हार्दिक स्वागत है।
अपना संडे दोपहर यहाँ बिताने के लिए और भारत के सभी इलाइट वर्ग से, वल्नरेबल कम्युनिटी से आने वाले बच्चों को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए आपका धन्यवाद।
मेरा नाम जोशा है। मैं प्रत्येक के प्रोग्राम यश मुंबई का हिस्सा हूँ। मैं यश मुंबई की फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हूँ और प्रोविजनल वर्ल्ड चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट की चाइल्ड राइट्स मिनिस्टर। I am a child rights advocate for 4 years now and have actively participated in decision making, advocating on child rights and earth rights, and in community service on SDG goals. I am an example in front of you कि किस तरह से प्रत्येक 9th month के प्रोग्राम बच्चों के एम्पावरमेंट करने और चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन को बढ़ावा देते हैं। मैं आज अपनी साथी अदीबा के साथ आज के NICP प्रोग्राम की मेजबानी।
मेरा नाम अदीबा है। मैं प्रत्येक के प्रोग्राम यश दिल्ली की का हिस्सा हूँ। मैं सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल नंबर 9 के मंत्री के रूप में बाल संसद का हिस्सा हूँ। मैं बाल अधिकारों और पृथ्वी के अधिकारों के लिए काम करने के लिए उत्सुक हूँ और मैं आज के प्रोग्राम की को होस्ट हूँ। हमारे साथ एक और को होस्ट हैं, ईमा दीदी, जो प्रत्येक में नेशनल प्रोग्राम लीड है।
थैंक यू अदीबा, थैंक यू जोशा। नमस्कार सभी को और बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप लोग आज के प्रोग्राम में जुड़े हैं। मेरा आज का रोल, इन बच्चों को मैं शुक्रिया करना चाहूंगी जो इन्होंने मुझे अपने बराबरी का दर्जा दिया, लेकिन मेरा आज का रोल उतना ही है जितना कि हम एडल्ट्स का रोल चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट में रहता है, यानी कि ओनली इफ एंड व्हेन नीडेड। हम सिर्फ सपोर्ट के लिए हैं यहाँ पे, और आज भी आप शायद मुझे बहुत ही कम देखेंगे क्योंकि हमारे बच्चे बहुत स्मार्ट हैं और वो सब कुछ मैनेज करना जानते हैं। वो अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज जानते हैं। मैं 9 is 9 के बारे में थोड़ा सा बहुत ब्रीफली कुछ शेयर करूंगी। सो 9 is 9 वो कैंपेन है जिसको हम कहते हैं चाइल्ड लेड एडवोकेसी कैंपेन, यानी कि बच्चों द्वारा ही संचालित, जहाँ पे बच्चे चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट्स के द्वारा अपने अधिकारों की बात करते हैं। हमारा ये सपना है कि 2025 तक, सन 2025 तक हमारे देश भर के जितने भी, यानी कि 543 कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज में हर एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी का रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो, हर एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट हो, और वहाँ के हर एक बच्चे को, हर एक पार्लियामेंटेरियन को, हर एक बच्चे को एक प्लेटफॉर्म मिले जहाँ पे वो अपनी बातें रख सके। आज का प्लेटफॉर्म, आज का सेशन एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल है इस तरीके के प्लेटफॉर्म्स का। सो और आशा है आप सभी लोग हमारा साथ देंगे हमारा ये सपना पूरा करने के लिए। और इसी के साथ मैं इस मौके का फायदा उठाते हुए अपनी छोटी छोटी सी कुछ रिक्वेस्ट रखूंगी। तो क्योंकि यहाँ पे हर सत्र से हर तरीके के प्रोफेशन के लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, कुछ लॉयर्स हैं, कुछ बिजनेस से हैं, कुछ पॉलिटिक्स में हैं, स्कूल से हैं, तो आप सबसे मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि हमें हमारा ये सपना पूरा करने में मदद करें। अगर आप कि नेटवर्क्स में कोई एनजीओज हैं, स्कूल्स हैं, उन तक हमारी बात पहुंचाएं, हमें उनसे कनेक्ट करवाएं। और साथ ही साथ अगर आप किसी फंडिंग एजेंसी को जानते हैं तो वो भी बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा हमारी पार्लियामेंट्स को और स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाने के लिए। धन्यवाद। ओवर टू दी बच्चा पार्टी, आर यंग सिटीजन्स।
थैंक यू एमा दी। हम आप सबका फिर से स्वागत करते हैं आज के प्रोग्राम में, और हमें बहुत खुशी है कि आज हम बच्चों की आवाज सुनने के लिए यहाँ पर कुछ मेंबर्स ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्स भी मौजूद हैं, जैसे श्री MP गौरव गोगोई फ्रॉम कालियाबोर, आसाम, श्रीमती वंदना चौहान जो राज्यसभा में महाराष्ट्र का प्रतिनिधित्व करती हैं, श्री चुन्नीलाल साहू छत्तीसगढ़ से भारत की संसद के निचले सदन लोकसभा से है, श्री हसनैन मसूदी जम्मू और कश्मीर के हाई कोर्ट के फॉर्मर जज और जम्मू और कश्मीर नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पार्टी के एक राजनेता है, श्रीमती अमीर हर्षदे याग्निक गुजरात से राज्यसभा के लिए अनअपोज चुने गए थे, श्री कुलदीप राय शर्मा अंडमान और निकोबार द्वीप समूह निर्वाचन क्षेत्र के सांसद हैं, श्री मोहम्मद बसीर ईटी पनानी फ्रॉम केरला, श्री MV श्रेयस कुमार ने 2006 से 2016 तक कालपेट्टा निर्वाचन क्षेत्र का प्रतिनिधित्व किया,
श्रीमती फौजिया खान राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी की एक भारतीय राजनीतिज्ञ हैं। वह महाराष्ट्र से भारतीय संसद के ऊपरी सदन राज्यसभा के सदस्य हैं। श्रीमती संध्या राय, वह भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सदस्य के रूप में 2019 के भारतीय आम चुनाव में भिंड, मध्य प्रदेश से भारत की संसद के निचले सदन लोकसभा के लिए चुनी गई। श्रीमती सुनीता दुग्गल सिरसा संसदीय क्षेत्र के लोकसभा की वर्तमान सदस्य हैं और वर्तमान में हरियाणा से एकमात्र महिला संसद सदस्य हैं। डॉक्टर जय सिद्धेश्वर शिवाचार्य महाराष्ट्र के सोलापुर लोकसभा क्षेत्र से लोकसभा के लिए सांसद हैं। डॉक्टर महेंद्र मुंजापारा 17वीं लोकसभा में सुरेंद्र नगर लोकसभा क्षेत्र गुजरात से सांसद हैं। श्रीमती प्रतिमा मंडल अखिल भारतीय तृणमूल कांग्रेस से ताल्लुक रखती हैं और 2014 से जयनगर से सांसद हैं। श्री खगेन मुर्मू मालदा उत्तर से सांसद हैं। पश्चिम बंगाल से भाजपा के सदस्य होने के नाते उन्होंने सीपीआईएम के सदस्य के रूप में हबीबपुर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से विधायक के रूप में कार्य किया है।
Adiba will carry on, please.
Adiba, please continue.
1 second.
Sure. You can please show the next slide. एज अ चाइल्ड एडवोकेट मैं ये सुनिश्चित करने के लिए प्रेरित हूँ कि सभी के साथ समान व्यवहार किया जाए और कोई भेदभाव ना हो। हम एक साथ यहाँ भारत के 472 मिलियन युवा नागरिकों की आवाज का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं, जो देश की आबादी का 39% है। और हम यहाँ सभी बच्चों, विशेष रूप से भारत की कमजोर पृथ्वी और उसके अनसुने युवा नागरिकों के लिए उपयुक्त दुनिया का सपना देखने के लिए रोमांचित है।
इंक्लूसिव चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट के जरिए प्रत्येक स्थानीय समुदायों में, गांव में, स्लम समुदायों में, स्कूल में बच्चों की एजेंसी को बढ़ाने के लिए, उन्हें सभी बच्चों के लिए उपयुक्त समाज के डेवलपमेंट के लिए बच्चों को नेताओं, अभिवक्ताओं और समर्थक कार्यकर्ताओं के रूप में बनाने का प्रयास करता है। इंक्लूसिव चिल्ड्रंस पार्लियामेंट की हमारे पहली प्रधानमंत्री स्वर्ण लक्ष्मी रवि की सिफारिश पर बाल संसदों के आंदोलन में इंक्लूसिव वर्ड जोड़ा गया था। उन्होंने न्यूयॉर्क में यूनाइटेड नेशंस के विभिन्न मंचों पर भारत को रिप्रेजेंट किया है। पूरी तरह से विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड होने के बावजूद उन्होंने यह सब हासिल किया है और अभी भी इंक्लूजन फॉर ऑल पर उनका काम जारी है।
तो स्वर्ण लक्ष्मी दीदी के फुटस्टेप पर चलते हुए हम इंक्लूजन फॉर ऑल को ध्यान में रखते हुए प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। मैं आशा करती हूँ कि आप सभी ने अपनी पसंद की भाषा को चुन लिया है और जो साइन इंटरप्रिटेशन में सेशन को जुड़ना चाहते हैं, उन्होंने मिस टेंसुरेला की वीडियो को पिन कर लिया होगा। Inclusion emphasizes the participation and involvement of all people, regardless of their abilities or disabilities, or health or wealth. Article 2 of the Convention on the Rights of the Child states that all children have all rights, without discrimination, and it is just this one right that we as child rights activists seek, that is, all rights for all children. हमारे NICP का लोगो भी इस इंक्लूजन को दर्शाता है। आइए देखें कैसे। ओवर टू आवर डायरेक्टर ब्रदर स्टीव।
जब तक स्टीव ऑन बोर्ड आते हैं, शायद कुछ नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम है।
I'm here,
मैं
Ima.
सभी को इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूंगी कि आज क्योंकि मन की बात का दिन है, तो इसीलिए कुछ जो बीजेपी के हमारे एमपीज हैं वो हमें थोड़ी देर में ज्वाइन करेंगे. So just an update, few MPs from BJP party will join us a little later because they all have gone for the मन की बात session. तो वो हमारी मन की बात सुनने आएंगे जरूर, पर थोड़ी सी देर से. Thank you.
Thank you, Ima, for that. So explaining the logo of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament, you would notice that the first thing is that the world is upside down. But really it's children saying, in this vast universe, do we really know what is north and what is south? As their first question. But the green that is normally on the lower side of our national flag is up, and the orange is down to signify that farmers, Adivasis, Dalits, Muslims, environmentalists, all of whom identify with the color green, are upheld by those that are basking in the sun of India's shining. There's a circular spiral in the middle that symbolizes that all of us are invited to go into the heart of our humanity and come out, reaching out to all the corners of the world to seek a just, equitable world. The children hold the two hemispheres together. The children are also like pillars of our parliamentary buildings that upheld the values of our constitutions and the UN Declaration on Human Rights. The children come from diverse communities, including children with disabilities, and of course their pet dogs and animals too, all saying we have the right to be heard. The motto of theirs is "We the Children," which re-echoes the constitutions of India, as well as the first few lines of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. This is their logo of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament. As they say, we'll speak, we'll listen, we'll be heard. Thank you.
हम एनआईसीपी का समारोह हर साल 30 जनवरी को मनाते हैं. यह वह दिन है जब भारत गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह से पर्दा हटाता है. यह महात्मा गांधी की पुण्यतिथि भी है, जिन्होंने अंत्योदय का आह्वान किया था, एक ऐसा विकास जो अंतिम बच्चे और भारत के अंतिम व्यक्ति से शुरू होता है. यही कारण है कि हम 9 is Mine के रूप में इस दिन को पब्लिक डे के रूप में मनाते हैं. यह परंपरा है कि 29 जनवरी को रात 11 बजे देश में मौन का क्षण आता है और हम इसे आज बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं.
Pratik believes that presence is an important way to engage with our inner spirits and our outer selves, making this 1 minute silence to help us still and connect with all of creation, the universe, and the most vulnerable earth community. आइए हम भी उनके सम्मान में 1 मिनट का मौन करें.
As we know, due to the COVID pandemic, the digital gap in urban and rural areas has increased, and children have been deprived of many rights. In India, 66% of urban children and 79% of rural children do not have access to digital platforms. आज के हमारे प्रोग्राम में भी बच्चे पार्टनर संस्थाओं की मदद से डिजिटल डिवाइसेस से जुड़े हैं।
अब हम सभी मंत्रियों को शपथ ग्रहण करने के लिए इनवाइट करते हैं। मैं ज्ञानेंद्र सर को बुलाना चाहूंगी। ज्ञानेंद्र सर is the founder and the senior managing partner of the law firm Arthava Legal. Gyanendra sir is enrolled with the Bar Council of Delhi. He is a member of the Supreme Court Bar Association. Sir is a well-known lawyer of the country and takes a keen interest in championing social, environmental, and child rights issues. सर इन फेमस मुजफ्फरनगर शेल्टर होम मामले में वकील रह चुके हैं। भारत और अमेरिका के बीच कानूनी समझ को बढ़ावा देने के लिए सर को बार ऑफ टेक्सास यूएसए की मानद सदस्यता से सम्मानित किया गया है। उन्हें हाल ही में सीईओ मैगजीन द्वारा वर्ष 2021 के वकील के रूप में सम्मानित किया गया है। सर बिजनेस नेटवर्क इंटरनेशनल में डारे चैप्टर का हिस्सा है। Over to you, Gyanendra sir. And I request all the parliamentary members to turn on their videos. Gyanendra sir, you can begin.
Can someone please promote Gyanendra sir to the panel?
He's already promoted.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we
Hello.
can hear you. Yes, sir.
You can hear us now. Thank you. So are we ready to start for oath ceremony?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So the way the oath will go, that I will speak, and then all the children who are taking some responsibility today as the part of National Exclusive Children Parliament will speak with me. So now we start the oath. Be ready for that. I say, I
Bhumika.
I Shabani
as
Prime Minister,
SDG Minister.
of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament
Of the National Inclusive Children Parliament.
promise to take my
Promise to take my
responsibilities and duties seriously
responsibilities and duties seriously
and to fulfill them
and
and
to fulfill them
fulfill them
পরিপূর্ণ করব
to the best of my abilities
to the best of
to the
my
best of my
abilities
best of my abilities
during my tenure
during my tenure
as
ততদিন আমি
SDG Minister.
SDG
Minister.
I to devote myself
আমি
Devote myself
to the well-being of every child
the well-being of a child
every child
in my neighborhood, state, and country,
in my
in my neighborhood
state,
state
country.
and country
and
শহর
to,
এবং আমার দেশে
yes, and to assist them in
and to assist
to
them
assist them in
in
resolving their issues
resolving
their
their
issues.
problem solve করতে
I promise that
I promise
promise that
প্রতিটি যে
I will respect each child's dignity
I will
respect child dignity
child dignity
and treat them all equally
and treat them all equally
equally
and without discrimination.
without discrimination.
During my tenure
during my tenure
as
As SDG Minister,
I will take my responsibilities seriously
I will take my responsibilities seriously
and will set an example for
and will set an example
for
the better functioning of
the better functioning of
the National Inclusive Children's Parliament
the National Inclusive Parliament
in building a loving, sustainable and inclusive India
sustainable and inclusive India
with the last child
last child
as my first priority.
as my first priority.
as my first priority.
Thank you, children. Now your oath is complete.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would invite Walid Ji, the National Advocacy Coordinator of Pratyek, वो नेशनल इंक्लूसिव कोर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम मेंबर और सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल मिनिस्टर्स के नाम की घोषणा करेंगी. ओवर टू यू वॉलेट जी.
Thank you, Zosha. So, hi everyone. नमस्ते आप सभी को. ये हमारी नेशनल इंक्लूसिव कोर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम है जो आप देख सकते हैं. बच्चे काफी क्षेत्रों से हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं जो कि सब कुछ ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, जैसे कि नॉर्थ जोन, वेस्ट, नॉर्थ ईस्ट, नॉर्थ जोन, साउथ सेंट्रल, साउथ जोन, नॉर्थ सेंट्रल जोन, चिल्ड्रन विद डिसेबिलिटी, ईस्ट जोन, झारखंड. ऐसे भी बच्चे हैं जो दूसरे वर्ग से हैं जो कि हमारे साथ हमारे प्लान्स, हमारे इनिशिएटिव, हमारे जो कैंपेन्स हैं. यहाँ पे बच्चों के नाम हैं जो कि रुखसार प्रत्येक से हैं, अनुराग जीवनधारा, आजाद हुसैन सनातन से हैं, सुधा वर्ल्ड विजन, नंदलाल CSEI, निहारिका पारा, हितश्री ग्रामीण से है, पृथ्वीलेन फर्नांडो से है, अंजलि DCPU एंड अंशु कुमारी सहयोगिनी। नेक्स्ट, ये हमारे मेन मिनिस्टर्स हैं जो कि अभी आपको स्क्रीन पे आते हुए दिख रहे होंगे, इनके नाम और इनकी संस्थाओं के नाम। हम आप सबका शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं कि आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहे एंड सभी को बहुत बहुत कंग्रेचुलेशंस। These are all the main and the deputy ministers of sustainable development goals of National Inclusive Children's Parliament, and in the first slide we have shown the main 4 core ministers. Over to you, Zosha and Adiba.
थैंक यू सो मच वालिद जी। आज शपथ लेने वाले संसद के प्रत्येक सदस्य ने हमें एक वादा दिया जो वे आज करने जा रहे हैं, जिसे वे देश भर के सभी बच्चों के लिए इस घोषणा पत्र को साकार करने की दिशा में वर्ष 2022 के लिए पूरा करेंगे। I will invite Ruxar, who is the president of National Inclusive Children's Parliament, and NICOT conveners, and Preeti Di, who is the national coordinator, to share these promises.
Thank you, Josha.
Hello everyone.
Hi, Ruxar, आप हो यहाँ पे। रुखसार, एक मिनट बिफोर वी स्टार्ट गोइंग। जीवन भैया, आप स्क्रीन शेयर करने वाले हैं या मैं करूँ?
Please you do it. You have the access.
Okay, that's great. रुखसार, आपको मेरी स्क्रीन दिख रही है?
Yes, जी.
All right, so we start. Over to you, Ruxar.
Tejaswini, Prime Minister.
Tejaswini, Prime Minister, she promises by organizing regular surveys and consultation with children across the country. These are the promises of SDG ministers and our, yes, Ruxar, go ahead.
Lamovit, Deputy Prime Minister.
She ensures that genuine participation of children is modeled for our beautiful country.
Pragati, Parliamentary Affairs Minister.
She promises that the NICP, while modeling its core values of inclusion, participation, advocacy at the neighborhood level.
Anushika Mehta, No Poverty Minister.
She ensures that the engagement with movement of ordinary people like farmers and daily wages.
Sarabani, goal number 2 Minister, Zero Hunger.
She ensures that the midday meals be more nutritional and serve every day, including holidays.
Lakshmi Kanta Das, Health and Wellbeing Minister.
He ensures that he will be promoting healthy eating, living, and breathing for every child, even while he promotes mental health.
Samik Shah, Quality Education Minister.
Ensures that all schools in India becomes as good as the best Kendriya Vidyalaya of our country.
Himanshi Sharma, Gender Equality Minister.
Ensures that inclusive of women, the third gender, and the LGBTQIA+ communities be included all across our country.
Kumbha Sanjay, Clean Water and Sanitation Minister.
Ensures to adopt smaller campaigns of Swachh Gaon, Swachh Mohallas, and Swachh schools in our country.
Gideon.
Gideon, Affordable and Clean Energy Minister. seeks that renewable energy and public transport is available to every child and every citizen of our country. Rukhsar? Rukhsar, is there a network issue at your end?
Siddhant, decent work and economic growth minister.
Ensures that daily wages and every worker is given their rights
Am I
and
audible?
and decent wages even while we strive towards India free from child labor. Rukhsar? Okay, Rukhsar का network issue हो रहा है. So Aswin is Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure Minister. He ensures that the duty bearers work hard towards creating a barrier-free society. Rukhsar, are you back? Brij Kumar Panchal, SDG Minister 10, Reduce Inequalities, ensures that our Children Parliament becomes more inclusive of children beyond barriers of wealth, language, disabilities, and sexual orientation. Vikhono, SDG Minister 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, ensures that and promotes will promote the idea of neighborhood vigilance communities. Ashan Bashir, SDG Minister 12, Responsible Consumption and Production. She ensures that she will promote lifestyle that are easy on the world. Imran, Climate Change Minister, SDG number 13, ensures that he will promote disaster management drills in all children's parliaments and in schools. Rukhsar, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Yes, we are at Likhita. Yeah.
Likhita, Life Below Water Minister.
Will advocate for proper use of water even while reducing our use of pesticides and chemicals that affect water, even the use of plastic.
Shivani, Life on Land Minister.
Ensures that she will support grassroots movement of children that are seeking climate action, if not climate emergencies.
Acha, Peace and Justice, Strong
institutions. Will promote awareness on various schemes, laws, and platforms provided by our Indian government, like the Childline 1098, like the EVAC, POXO, and the right to information. Himanshi, Partnership, SDG Minister 17, Partnership to achieve the goal. She ensures that to read global news while ensuring that children abused anywhere becomes a concern for children in India and everywhere. Nemesia, SDG Goal Minister 18, All Rights for All Children. She ensures that she will educate members of Children Parliament on child rights, including environmental rights. Thank you. Over to you, Josha and Adiba.
बाल संसदों में हमारे आस पड़ोस के सभी बच्चे शामिल हैं, बिना किसी जाति, भाषा, लिंग, रंग, रूप के भेदभाव के। मैं अब हमारे राष्ट्रीय समावेशी बच्चों के चुने हुए प्रधानमंत्री को अपना उद्घाटन भाषण उन 400 मिलियन भारतीय बच्चों को देने के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूं, जिनका वह प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं।
Madam Child President of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament, Mrs. Rukhsar Rahman, our dearest 440 million child citizens of India Honorable Chief Guest, Member of Parliament, Gaurav Gogoi, Convener of the Parliamentarians Group for Children, Honorable Members of the Parliament present, Steve Rocha, Director/Convener, Pratik and 9 is Mine and team, our NGO and school partners, principals, teachers, and all of our friends and well-wishers, we thank you for joining us on this program. As I humbly accept the role of a servant leader of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament, I want to express my gratitude to my fellow child advocates for believing in me and electing me as the Prime Minister for the year 2022. I owe you a debt of gratitude. The world has transformed today. We're looking at new ways of communicating, learning, and working. We are currently grappling with unprecedented difficulties caused by COVID-19, and now is the moment that we, the National Inclusive Children's Parliament ministers, along with our duty bearers, unite together and serve and strive for the larger good of the Earth community. The National Inclusive Children's Parliament is a community of young people from all over the country who represent varied culture, languages, dreams, and abilities. The National Parliament does not make any distinctions when it comes to children. The orange sun is seen high in the sky, and green grass is what we tread upon. These colors of our national tricolor are reversed to represent how the powerful sun of India shining must support the masses of our Bharat whining for a Sarvodaya development for all that is based on an Antodaya development of the last, least, and the lost. Surprisingly, our farmers, our Adivasis, our environmentalists, our Dalits, and our Muslims all identify themselves with this green color. We, the children, is our motto, reflecting the ideals of our Indian preamble and the UN Declaration of Human Rights. We claim that we may not be voters, but we believe that the voices of children can be stronger than the votes of adults. And it is necessary for us to speak up now to secure our future. We are not the future. We are today's active and engaged citizen of the universe. In particular, as Prime Minister of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament, I, along with my ministers, young leaders, and child pro-activists, will work tirelessly to reach the last child, the unheard one. The National Inclusive Children's Parliament will do all possible to ensure that our voices are heard in the spirit of UN global goals that say, leave no one behind. I'd like to use this occasion to raise a serious concern with our members of Parliament. As we all know, children make up approximately 40% of our population. Despite the government's efforts, there are still 33 lakh malnourished children, 10.1 million children in child labor, 15 crore children out of school, and many more statistics that I could painfully list. I hope and believe that Srimati Nirmala Dai in the upcoming budget gives a clear promise to devote 6% to education, 3% to health, and if not a clear 10% devoted to children's development, their rights, and their well-being. My second recommendation is that our Ministers of Parliament is to join forces with 9 is Mine and other children's movement to promote children's participation through Children's Parliament, and that every state organizes a formal state and local children's parliament. We believe and hope that by next year, all our 543 members of parliament will be present next year to listen genuinely to the next Nationally Inclusive Children's Parliament in the year 2023, which I have visioned will happen within the hallowed grounds of National Parliament itself and multiple states assembly of India. And that is my big dream I am willing to work hard for. As I conclude, I vow and guarantee to all of you here that as the Prime Minister of the National Inclusive Children's Parliament, I would do everything in my power to listen, particularly to the last child, and ensure transparency and fulfillment of promises. And I, along with my Council of Ministers and you, Honorable Member of Parliament, and supports of child participation, that I will do my bit to ensure that no child of India, if not the world, is left behind. Thank you. I'm Tejaswini from Carmel School, Jorhat, representing Prerna NGO.
Thank you so much, Tejaswini. NICP 2022 23 जनवरी को शुरू हुआ, जहां पूरे भारत के बच्चे एक जूम प्लेटफॉर्म पर जुड़े। ये बच्चे अपने लोकल बाल संसद में लगातार विभिन्न मुद्दों पर काम करते रहे हैं। बाल अधिकारों और चाइल्ड पार्टिसिपेशन के एम को आगे लेके जाते हुए अलग अलग राज्यों से बच्चों ने राष्ट्रीय लेवल के इलेक्शन में हिस्सा लिया। मल्टीपल राउंड्स के बाद बच्चों ने सोशियोक्रेसी मॉडल को फॉलो करते हुए प्राइम मिनिस्टर, डिप्यूटी प्राइम मिनिस्टर, पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर और 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंटल गोल्स मिनिस्टर्स को चुना। इसी के साथ साथ पूरे हफ्ते में अलग अलग बच्चों से जुड़े टॉपिक्स पर एक्सपर्ट्स के साथ सेशन हुए, जिसमें सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स, गवर्नमेंट एंड CRC, family and protection, health, education, vulnerable groups, environment, participation और बजट पर सेशन शामिल है। जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि 1 फरवरी 2022 को नया बजट आ रहा है। हम आशा करते हैं कि बच्चों के लिए प्रॉमिस किया गया 9% यानी 6% एजुकेशन, 3% हेल्थ शामिल करा जाएगा। NICP के हफ्ते के बारे में और जानने के लिए आइए ये वीडियो देखते हैं।
प्रत्येक 9 is 9 और सभी पार्टनर ने मिलकर बच्चों से जुड़े बहुत सारे मुद्दों पर 2021 में काम करा, जिसमें UPR शेडो रिपोर्ट, UNCRC रिपोर्ट, MPs और MLAs के साथ में महाराष्ट्र, झारखंड, वेस्ट बंगाल में ऑनलाइन और असम में ऑन ग्राउंड स्टेट इंटरैक्शंस कराई गई, जहां बच्चों ने हिताधिकारों के सामने अपनी परेशानियां और सलाहें रखी। स्टेट इंटरैक्शंस में शामिल होने वाले MLAs में मिस्टर उसमे अरविंद सावंत, मिस वंदना चावन, मिस्टर संजय रॉथ, मिस्टर अमरदीप कौशल, मिस्टर अमित कुमार मंडल, मिस्टर खागेन मुर्मू, मिस्टर काकोली घोष, मिस्टर बिस्वजीत दाइमारी, स्पीकर ऑफ आसाम लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली और झारखंड गवर्नर श्री रविंद्रनाथ महातो शामिल हैं, जिन्होंने बच्चों को प्रोत्साहन का या उनकी मांगों को आगे ले जाने की बात करी।
Puppet is a child-friendly medium that children simply love, but I suspect that adults too get absorbed into a child's world when they interact with puppets. Listen to our puppets and our friends from across India as they share with us our children reviewing Child Rights in India report while sharing with you the recommendations. आइए आप puppetry के माध्यम से इन UPR, UNCRC, Environment Report में बच्चों के जरिए शेयर की गई recommendations को सुनते हैं। Those who want to hear it in English Kindly unmute the main session language.
थैंक यू जोशा. बिफोर गोइंग ऑन, मैं कुछ मेंशन करना चाहूंगी. हमारे साथ अभी गौरव गोगोई सर जुड़ चुके हैं. उनके साथ ही हमारे साथ हैं हसनैन मसूदी सर, और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट से स्मृति ईरानी मैम के ऑफिस से हमारे साथ डॉक्टर मनीष गवई भी जुड़ चुके हैं. थैंक यू ऑल फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस. हमें पता है आज का दिन और ये समय आप लोगों के लिए बहुत बिजी होता है, फिर भी आप लोग टाइम निकाल के आए, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. इंटरप्रिटेशन के इंस्ट्रक्शंस एक बार फिर से दूंगी. ये न्यूज़ अपडेट रिपोर्ट रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस और इंग्लिश में होगा, तो जो बच्चे इंग्लिश में भी सुन रहे हैं वो अपना ओरिजिनल अनम्यूटेड रखेंगे. थैंक यू. और टेम्सुरेलना का वीडियो पिन्ड है जो कि साइन लैंग्वेज में हमें सारी अपडेट्स दे रही हैं. थैंक यू टेम फॉर बीइंग हियर. Over to you, Zosha, and our news reporters. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to the National Children's News Bulletin, bringing you news from the eyes of all the children under the age 30, who itself is 39% of India's population. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bharat, your news anchor from Ernakulam, Kerala. As the Indian government is in the process of writing a report to the Committee on the Rights of Children, we, the child citizens of India, have chosen to write our own shadow report based on our experiences of the rights promised to us children and also to our Mother Earth, as we are the co-constituency of this convention. Let me tell you all why we are here. We always have the National Children's Parliament on the 30th January each year. It is the day after India draws down the curtains on the Republic Day celebration and also the death anniversary of the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, the man who called for Antyodaya, a development that begins from the last person, the last child, and the last being of India, if not the world. That is the reason why we, as an INS Mind, celebrate the day as Public Day, also known as People's Day. Let us move to Maharashtra, which is famous for its culture and beauty, a state famous for its music, dances, and festivals. Let us hear what Samiksha from Maharashtra wants the Indian government to address about health, poverty, and nutrition of our country, as a report titled State of the World's Children 2019 came a day after the Global Hunger Index placing India at the 102nd rank in the serious category. In our UNCRC shadow report, more than 4,000 children participated, and out of them 7.99% believe that there are no child rights which are important for child's development and growth. Samiksha, what does the government of India has to address for us young generation?
मी महाराष्ट्रातील समीक्षा काटे आहे. मला असे म्हणायचे आहे की सरकारने असुरक्षित कुटुंबांना उदरनिर्वाह, अन्न, सुरक्षा, शिक्षण या बाबतीत मदत करावी आणि मुलांची तस्करी होण्यापासून वाचवावे. सरकारी पोषण कार्यक्रम आपल्या गावांमध्ये त्वरित आणि प्रभावीपणे राबविण्यात यावा आणि सर्वात महत्त्वाचे म्हणजे प्रत्येक गावात एक चांगले रुग्णालय असले पाहिजे, ज्यामध्ये सर्व वेळ डॉक्टर उपलब्ध असावेत आणि मुलांचा अट बालस्नेही पद्धतीने बांधला गेला पाहिजे. धन्यवाद.
Now moving to our national capital, New Delhi, a state that is freezing this year. New Delhi has a rich cultural heritage and also a linguistically diverse state. Now let us connect with Ashia, who is reporting live from Rajkot and will report about the issue related to education, sanitation, and technology. As per the economic survey, India spent only 3.1% of its GDP on education. 17.88% of children in the UNCRC shadow report state that in COVID times, the child rights were not accessible the way government's responsibility or a parent's responsibility was. Isn't it too little spending for us and all our friends across the country? Ashia, What do the children of India want from the government?
नमस्ते, मैं दिल्ली से आसिया हूँ। महामारी के दौरान पूरे भारत में मेरे कई दोस्त इंटरनेट की कमी के कारण अपनी पढ़ाई जारी नहीं रख सके। मैं भारत सरकार से स्थानीय समुदायों में मुफ्त वाईफाई प्रदान करने का अनुरोध करती हूँ, क्योंकि कक्षाएं ऑनलाइन हैं। मैं अपने भारत सरकार को स्वच्छ भारत मिशन और राष्ट्रीय ग्रामीण पेयजल कार्यक्रम के लिए धन्यवाद देती हूँ, लेकिन बहुत से लोगों के पास अभी भी स्वच्छ पानी नहीं है, इसलिए अच्छी स्वच्छता के साथ स्वच्छ पेयजल उपलब्ध कराने के लिए धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Now, let us go to our reporters from the eastern part of the country. We will connect with Sia from Assam, who will be reporting from the banks of Brahmaputra and will address the issue of decent work, equality, and gender issues. Let us remember that the number of working children in India in the age group 5 to 14 years is 10.1 million, of which 5.6 million are boys and 4.5 million are girls. Sia, what do you want the Indian government so that no child is left behind?
Yeah, you are on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. মোৰ নাম সিয়া। মই অসমৰ পৰা অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছো। এইটো বহুত ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট যে আমাৰ মা দেউতাৰ বন্ধু বান্ধৱ আৰু মান আৰু ন্যায়পূৰ্ণ ব্যৱহাৰ পাব লাগে। সেয়ে মই ভাৰত চৰকাৰক অনুৰোধ কৰিব বিচাৰো যে আমাৰ মা দেউতাৰ কাম কৰাৰ অধিকাৰ সমূহ কৰিব লাগে আৰু তেওঁলোকৰ কামৰ বিনিময়ত এটা উচিত মূল্য পাব লাগে। লগতে টিচাৰবোৰক আৰু সকলোকে বেলেগ বেলেগ জেণ্ডাৰবোৰক বিষয়ে লাইক LGBTQIA ওপৰতে ট্ৰেইনিং দিব লাগে, যাতে আমাৰ সমাজখন সকলোৰে কাৰণে ইনক্লুসিভ হয়। ধন্যবাদ।
We just got valuable information which states that only 28.56% rated that child rights under the protection pillar is blooming. It is just on the table and not implemented. Our next reporter is now reporting live from a place close to Howrah Bridge. Arka Priya from West Bengal will talk to us about peace, progeny, and sustainable cities. As per the Child Rights Index 2020, India ranks 113 in global child rights. Is it not important that we should be given more importance and our rights should be addressed and granted to us? What does the children of India want from the government? Over to you, Arka Priya.
Arkapriya, you are on mute.
শুভ মধ্যাহ্ন সকলকে। আমি হাওড়া ব্রিজ থেকে অর্কপ্রিয়া। রাস্তার পরিস্থিতি এবং জঞ্জাট ঘিঞ্জি অবস্থার জন্য আমার পক্ষে এখানে পৌঁছানোটা দুষ্কর, কিন্তু সব দিক সামাল দিয়ে অবশেষে আমি পৌঁছেছি। এই জন্য সরকারের কাছে আমার একান্ত অনুরোধ, সরকার আমাদের যাতায়াতের সুবিধার্থে ভালো এবং বড় রাস্তা যেন তৈরি করেন, যাতে এক স্থান থেকে আমরা অন্য স্থানে যোগাযোগ সহজেই করতে পারি। পরিবেশকে সুস্থ রাখার জন্য আমরা এমন একটা সংগঠন তৈরি করব যেখানে সকল সম্প্রদায় এসে মিলিত হবে এবং সংগঠনের নিয়ম মেনে চলবে। সেই নিয়ম আমাদের স্কুলে, স্থানীয় সম্প্রদায়ে এবং রাজনৈতিক মঞ্চে যেন থাকে, যাতে শান্তি ও সম্প্রীতি সমানভাবে বজায় থাকে। আমি শিশু সংসদের মাধ্যমে অনেক তথ্য পেয়েছি। তার জন্য আমার সরকারের কাছে অনুরোধ, প্রত্যেক স্কুলে শিশু সংসদ বাধ্যতামূলক হোক। ধন্যবাদ।
Our next reporter is live from the heart of India, Madhya Pradesh. Manoj from MP will share about our environmental issues. In our UNCRC shadow report, only 8.7% children stated that the ecological rights of the child are excellent and fully given to the children. According to the Environmental Performance Index 2020, India ranks 168 in the Environmental Performance Index with a score of 27.6 among 180 countries in 2020. Manoj is reporting live from Sanchi Stupa. What does the children of India want from the government?
नमस्ते आप सभी को। मेरा नाम मनोज है और मैं एमपी से हूँ। जैसे हमने अभी सुना कि भारत पर्यावरण संरक्षण में 168वें स्थान पर है, इसलिए इस मुद्दे को संबोधित करना महत्वपूर्ण है। हम लक्ष्य ऊर्जा के उपयोग को बढ़ावा देकर ऐसा कर सकते हैं। 4Rs पर जागरूकता पैदा भी महत्वपूर्ण है। हम यह भी जानते हैं कि प्लास्टिक प्रदूषण नुकसान का एक बड़ा कारण है, इसलिए जूट उत्पादन को बढ़ाकर विकल्प को बढ़ावा देना महत्वपूर्ण है, ताकि हम प्लास्टिक बैग के बजाय जूट बैग का उपयोग कर सके। जूट की खेती से युवाओं को रोजगार भी मिलेगा। धन्यवाद।
We will now move to the land of Bush, Jharkhand. Payal Kumari will be reporting live from Hazaribagh National Park. Payal will talk to us about land issues, marine issues, and partnership to achieve the SDGs. We thank our Indian government for proactively promoting international cooperation through SAARC and BRICS. Over to you.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम है पायल कुमारी। मैं झारखंड से हूँ। मैं भारत सरकार को सभी आवश्यक कदम उठाने के लिए धन्यवाद देती हूँ। मैं कुछ सिफारिश करना चाहती हूँ ताकि हम विश्व नेताओं द्वारा निर्धारित लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त कर सकें। पर्यावरण प्रदर्शन की मत्स्य पालन श्रेणी में भारत 35वें स्थान पर है, इसलिए पानी के अंदर रहने वाले जीवों के लिए नीतियां और कानून बनाना महत्वपूर्ण है। वहां जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दों को समाधान करना भी जरूरी है। मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि सरकार किसानों के जैविक स्वाद उपलब्ध कराएं। संकेतों और लक्ष्यों का पालन करने के लिए सभी स्कूलों और सरकारी विभागों में सभी एसडीजी और बाल अभिविन्यास सुनिश्चित करना भी महत्वपूर्ण है। धन्यवाद।
We request the members of parliament to take up our recommendations and make them national issues, as it represents 39% of India's population. We will be officially taking this report to the Indian government and United Nations Human Rights Council. We request the principals and teachers to join and support our 9 is Mine campaign. We also request the directors of various NGOs to join the movement and help us make a difference. We have a lot of media houses and reporters and people from the corporate sector. We request you all to promote and fund a unique For and By the Children campaign. I request you all to visit our website and promote the same. The link will be shared in the chat box. Please like and share all our social media handles so that we can all make a small difference. Thank you all for tuning into our news channel, National Children's News Bulletin. That brings us to the end of the news bulletin. This is me, Bharat, signing off with my puppet, Tony Stork, from Kerala, God's own country. Goodbye until we meet you next time.
Just to come in here, Ma'am Sandhya Ray, we have promoted you in the panel, requesting you to please accept it. Thank you.
While we're welcoming Sandhya Ray, ma'am, an MP, we also would like to thank the other dignitaries for being here with us. Hussain Masoodi sir, Gaurav Gogoi, the convener of the Parliamentary Group for Children, Manish Gawai, the secretary to Smriti Irani, Fauza Khan ma'am, who was here but dropped out because of network issues, Sampatia Ukay sir, and Sandhya Ray once again. Thank you for being with us and listening to children as they speak on the death anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, the man who spoke for the Antodaya. Children are often the Antodaya of our country. Thank you once again. Over to our anchors.
गौरव सर, जो भारतीय राज्य असम से भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस के राजनीतिज्ञ हैं, वह असम के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री तरुण गोगोई के बेटे हैं। उन्होंने कलियाबोर से 2014 और 2019 में चुनाव लड़ा और जीत हासिल की। सर ने 2005 में प्रवाह नामक दिल्ली स्थित एक गैर सरकारी संगठन में शामिल होने के लिए एयरटेल में अपनी नौकरी छोड़ दी। सर युवा अधिवक्ताओं को कुछ शब्द कहें।
Thank you very much. My gratitude to Brother Steve for inviting me to this platform, and I'm very grateful to see all the members of the National Inclusive Parliament for Children, and my best wishes to the Prime Minister and to her members of her cabinet, and to all the people who have made this event so wonderful. सचमुच बहुत खुशी हुई यहाँ पे आप लोगों से बातचीत करके, और आप लोगों ने जो बातें उठाई हैं, जो मुद्दे उठाए हैं, हम भी अपने अपने स्तर पर उन्हीं मुद्दों को हम उठाने की कोशिश करते हैं। और क्योंकि आज बापूजी की पुण्यतिथि है, तो बापूजी ने जो कहा था कि बी द चेंज यू वांट टू सी इन द वर्ल्ड, आई थिंक दैट इज़ अ वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट मोटो, क्योंकि बहुत से समस्या आती है ज़िंदगी में, लेकिन अगर हम उन समस्याओं को लेकर सिर्फ बातें करें और उनको हल करने के लिए अगर कुछ कदम नहीं उठाएं, तो समस्या ही रह जाती है। तो मेरा पूरा विश्वास है कि आप सभी लोग अपने अपने स्तर पर इन मुद्दों को उठाएंगे और लोगों को जागरूक करेंगे और लोगों को प्रोत्साहन देंगे और लोगों को विश्वास दिलाएंगे कि चाहे उम्र छोटी हो या बड़ी हो, हम सब अपने देश के लिए, अपने परिवार के लिए, अपने प्रकृति के लिए, हम सब अपने अपने स्तर पर महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठा सकते हैं। I don't want to speak too much, slightly under the weather, but I wish all of you the very best, and thank you for having me here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gaurav Gogoi sir. प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए अब हम अपने माननीय गेस्ट से बातचीत करेंगे। हमारे साथ देश के 6 अलग राज्यों से बच्चे जुड़े हैं, जो उपस्थित संसदीय मेंबर्स से बच्चों से जुड़े कुछ सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं। मैं अब अपनी यंग क्लाइमेट वॉरियर को इनवाइट करती हूँ, आरना श्रीवास्तव। ओवर टू यू, आरना।
Thank you. Respected ladies, gentlemen, and my dear friends, my name is Arna Srivastav, and I am a 9-year-old climate warrior. Today, I come to you with a humble request to help and support me with my campaign, Save Sanjay 1. Sanjay 1 is a protected forest located in Vasant Kunj area of South Delhi. Recently, a notification was issued by the Delhi Development Authority stating that they had plans to commercialize Sanjay 1. Upon learning this, I started the campaign Save Sanjay 1, and despite my consistent efforts and support from over 700 concerned citizens, it is a disappointment to hear that DDA is still going forward with its plans to commercialize Sanjay 1. I request for your immediate intervention and support me with my cause. Thank you.
मैं शकुंतला प्रमाणिक झारखंड से हूँ। हम पोषण अभियान के लिए सरकार को धन्यवाद देते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी इस अभियान ने वृद्धि और विकास को केवल 1% अंक ही क्यों कम किया है, जबकि वृद्धि को प्रतिवर्ष 3% अंक तक कम करने का वादा ये अभियान करता है। आप इस मामले में वयस्कों और बच्चों तथा मताधिकारों को क्या करने का सुझाव देंगे? धन्यवाद।
So we have a little anchor here who will play teacher right now, and she will be principal at our session right now, while the questioners are going to be teachers asking our members of parliament will become the students and ask some of these questions as they feel comfortable. So no question is going to be directed particular to any particular MP, but please feel free to answer, raise your hands and answer any question that the children are raising for us. That was Shakuntala's question. Where is our principal gone?
Hello everyone, I am the principal and all the MPs are my students. I have my teacher friends with me and I am a strict principal. You will have 2 minutes to speak. We will have a bell that will ring after each 2 minutes. So that means that you will have 2 minutes to answer the questions.
So, Brother Steve, do you want me to start?
We'll have to ask the principal, sir. Aruna, can Gaurav Gogoi sir answer?
Yes, please. But be cautious of time.
Thank you. The first issue is a very important issue, and I'm glad that the urban forests are getting their due attention, because often when we think about forest, we think about those that are far away from our cities, but we also have to protect the forests and the greenery that are within our cities. And Sanjay Van is a very important part of Delhi, and I'm glad that you are taking up that issue. I think the information with me currently is quite limited, but I'll definitely will try to find more information at my end as well. And I would love to support you in your cause. And I think in the second issue, which was related to the midday meal, again, we have the budget session coming up, and I think a very important issue has been highlighted. I think that's the beauty of these interactions, that we get to know the concerns faced by children from across India. And we will also do our best to make sure that resources are not decreased, rather they are increased when it comes to welfare measures for our children. Thank you very much. Thank you, Principal.
Other MPs, I'd love to hear you.
Am I allowed to come in?
Yes, sir.
Let me address you as Honorable Prime Minister and honorable members of NICP. See, I mean, it's a real pleasure. I take it as a real honor to be with you and to have got an opportunity to interact with you. Let me first congratulate everyone who has been associated with this effort at all levels. It is for the first time that I had an occasion to, I got an opportunity to interact with you, with the children. Though I have been for a while doing a little bit for welfare of children to secure the rights of the children. I was associated previously with the campaign to make child rights a reality to the children in my area, in my place. Well, the first and foremost, I feel happy that you have articulated the problems so well. And you have spelled out the expectations that you have from us as parliamentarians in the budget session. Let me tell you, let me focus on the real problem. The real problem is that, as you said, that 33% of our population is children. But in my view, the difficulty is that they don't have a right to vote. So political parties or who are at the helm of affairs mostly ignore the problems that relate to this segment of the society. They are more concerned with the people who support them or who can just come forward to vote for them. Having said that, government, in my opinion, is doing very little to make child rights a reality to 1/3 of our population. In my view, in my eye, I don't know, you may have the exact figures. More than 2.5 million of your children are in institutional care and exposed to all kinds of discomforts and inconveniences. We have very little focus on non-institutional or alternate care. This COVID has taught us a lot, taught us the lessons. Now children in institutional care were not able to have some kind of, a minimum contact with their back home, their families or the extended families. And this again re-emphasizes that we should have a shift from institutional care to the alternate care. But only focus on child rights will not be of any use unless we have a holistic approach. We focus on every part of it. So I expect the government, I expect the ministry to focus. We just ask for more and more allocations in current budget so that steps can be taken to do whatever to respond to the problems that you have. Thank you very much. I assure you all support.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words are truly valuable. I would request Gaurav sir, Sandhya ma'am, and Hassan sir, if you could stay here, and children will ask all the questions, and you can pick any question which you would like to answer rather than going one by one to save time as well. So I request all the children to place your questions, and perhaps our guest speakers can respond. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Mahira Ahuja from the state of Maharashtra, and the following is my question. There have been unprecedented climatic changes recently across the globe. Climate change is being severely neglected and requires urgent attention across the world. How can our government influence youngsters to play a larger role in safeguarding our planet for the future generations? Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Aaron Lemos from Our Lady of Salvation High School, Maharashtra. So my question to you is, due to the shift to online platforms, we are confined to academic books and we are lacking basic survival skills like time management, self-defense, etc. How can the government ensure that we have these abilities if we are not taught about them in schools? In what ways can the education system inculcate these life skills?
Good afternoon, everybody present out here. Myself, Debashri Hazarika, and I'm from Assam. So my question is, due to the pandemic, many of the underprivileged students have lost their means of education as they don't have access to digital devices. So how do you encourage the government to plan to make up for the period of education loss? Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Mahira Ahuja from the state of Maharashtra, and the following is my question. As we majorly rely on lakes and rivers for the majority of our water supply,
Also, we are aware that these water bodies are rapidly getting affected. Is there any plan or inclination of a plan to combat the effects of this situation? Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Dia Josen and I am from Chandigarh. My question is that in COVID times, children with disabilities were the most vulnerable ones as they do not get enough platforms to engage and place their opinions. What can the government, you or the adults do to bring these children to the forefront and resolve their challenges? Thank you.
A very good afternoon, everyone. I am Anika Johan from Maharashtra, and my question for you is that in the UNCRC shadow report generated by the 9 is Mine campaign, children mentioned that since schools are far away, they have to walk miles to reach the schools. What can our government or other stakeholders do to ensure that each child gets quality education? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sabina Khatun from Ringu, West Bengal, and the following is my question. In this pandemic, many parents of our peers lost their jobs or lives. What can be different steps is the government or we can take to make sure children's parents get decent work? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shreya Bishash from West Bengal. My question is, we often talk about inclusive education, and it is great to see India moving towards inclusivity. Still, the children with disabilities are never included in our system. For instance, there is no reservation for these children in private schools. What can be the other alternatives to ensure inclusive education? Thank you.
To all the dignitaries, you can respond to any of the questions which you would like to. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll start with the question on climate change. I feel that's a very important subject, and we're all concerned about that. One thing that governments need to do is to encourage a change in our behavior so that all of us are much more conscious about the energy that we are consuming in daily lives. And I think every district or every municipality needs to discuss in their own respective committees or with their respective networks what they can do at the local level to reduce the dependence on energy or reduce the consumption of energy. And in some cases, it would mean shifting to a new technology like solar. In some cases, it would be about shifting to a more public form of transport, also pooling in the resources so that we don't burn as much of coal as possible. I think that's required to a great extent. And I think young people should mobilize and also discuss new ideas that can be taken up both by their schools, by the universities, and they should also think about solutions that local and state governments can do. And I think we all need to encourage innovation. We all need to encourage experimentation, because there are so many ideas, but not necessarily that all ideas will work in the context of India. We have to figure out those ideas that work best for different states and different districts, because India is so big and diverse, no one size fits all formula will work. So that's my answer on the question related to climate change. And I think there was question related to just in the current pandemic, many children are being deprived from a wholesome education, on both academic as well as physical, as well as mental and emotional. And many children are being deprived of because of lack of digital tools. I think it's very important for government to have a plan. Again, there are many ideas, many educational experts have different ideas as to how to help these children get back on the learning curve. But I think it's very necessary that each government has a plan and make that plan public, so that people are aware that the government is thinking about this issue. The government has a plan. I think sometimes when governments don't communicate properly, I think it leads to confusion, and there is a certain sense of concern and anxiety that builds up. So I think every state government should have a plan as to how to bring children back on the learning curve. Many and more parents and children are anxious that schools are being closed for so long. So I hope that once state after state start declaring their plans, it will promote and encourage other states to also think about it and have a concrete proposal. I don't want to deliberate on particular ideas. I think the ideas are there, but it's time that we have to take a decision. I think those are the two questions that were on my mind, and I'm glad that I got an opportunity to answer them. Thank you.
Well, I would like to respond to the questions that are already dealt with by Mr. Bube. First is that, see, climate change warrants an attitudinal shift. We have to acknowledge that we are only one of the species on this earth, and we don't have an exclusive right to plunder. So it is just, man is just part of the web of the life, just one of the threads. And children can ensure that attitudinal shift, because they influence the society, and the children, whatever steps they take, those steps are acknowledged by the society, by their elders, and by the community. So they can play a good and meaningful role there. That is as regards addressing the problem of climate change and the challenges. Second is that most important is that there was a point raised by one of our children, that of inclusive education. We have two uneven levels of education. We don't have a level play field. I think government should make an effort, and we should persuade the government to make an effort to have sufficient number of positions in schools meant for the people, for the children who are from a background who cannot afford to be part of that academic culture. That is very important, that all the schools should be, who are public schools, those should be persuaded to have some kind of arrangement, so that these children who are from the families who don't have the means and resources to be part of that academic culture, and devise a mechanism to address that, so that we can have all inclusive and even play field for everyone. Thank you.
आपके सामने LTG goal number 5, लैंगिक समानता, goal number 16, शांति.
Thank you.
थैंक यू गौरव सर एंड हसन सर हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए। तो अभी आगे बढ़ते हुए मैं ब्रदर स्टीव रोचा, एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर, प्रत्येक के संस्थापक और 9 इज माइन अभियान के नेशनल कन्वीनर और वास्तव में राष्ट्रीय समावेशी बाल संसद NICP के दिल को धन्यवाद देने और कुछ शब्द कहने के लिए आमंत्रित करती हूँ।
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone, and glad that we're gathering together on this memorable day, which we call Public Day, where people have the right to speak and be heard just after the state after the state has called down its curtains on the Republic Day state manifestations of its power and its wealth, people are raising their voices, and children are symbolizing that particular notion of people's voices to be heard and claiming their state today in this republic. So firstly, thanks to all the children. And I believe, young people, you are modeling for us a wonderful way the world needs to be, listening to the last voice. We are in the midst of a silent revolution led by young citizens who dream beyond borders, who dare beyond barriers, and who work beyond the banter to realize a just, equitable, inclusive, and sustainable world. These have become common parlance for you, and you keep talking about it as if it were just a common dream that we have to and have no choice about achieving. They are determined to claim their right as active and engaged global citizens by sitting outside Parliament and inside, demanding that their voices are generally heard around the dining tables and around national roundtables, from neighborhood councils to the UN Council, to realize child rights and earth rights now. Now meaning there is no other way. As I speak, there are logos of all the NGOs being played who have been part of our movement to really make child's participation a non-negotiable in our language, in our culture, in our decision making, in our parliaments, and in our homes. So thank you, children, for being consciously present with us and claiming your space in our wonderful country, and also for being with us for the last 8 days. Thanks to all the members of parliament who've taken their time on a busy day when you should be traveling to Delhi to get ready for the budgetary session, where India will now make a commitment as to what its priorities are. They say, put your money where your mouth is. And basically, in the next few days, we'll see where is India committing itself, and is the last child really its top priority. So thank you, Mr. Sri Hussain Masoodi. Thank you, Gaurav Gogoi, sir, for being with us this afternoon and also answering some of these important questions from the children, extempore, and really from the heart. Thank you very much for being with us. And Gaurav Gogoi, sir, next year, with your help, we envision to have 543 members of parliament listening to 543 child parliamentarians from across India. Thanks also to Manish Gawai, Gander sir, Fauzia Khan ma'am, Sampatya Vikay, Sandhya Ray, and Akash from the office of Sunita Duggal for being with us today. Thank you to Smriti Irani ma'am for sending Manish Gawai sir to represent the Ministry of Women and Child Development this afternoon. Thank you also to the child parliamentary ministers who offered to be committed to this process of listening to the last child and taking these concerns to their elected members of parliament, but also of the MLAs in the states and their sarpanches in their villages, but every duty member that's responsible for realizing child rights. Thanks to all the NGOs, directors, and animators for really pushing this agenda of listening to the child's right to participate authentically. Thank you, Josha, Adiba, Ima, for co-anchoring today and for really highlighting the voices of children and really building Nina's Mind as an initiative of, for, and by the children. Thank you also to all the members of our Children's Parliament who have taken on roles in the NICOT. NICOT is a very symbolic as well as an important role in our National Inclusive Children's Parliament. It's the National Inclusive Co-Organizing Team, CORE, C-O-R-E, of young children and directors who will guide the NICP to ensure that the last voice is heard and the sociocratic methods are followed to the core. So thank you once again to the co-organizing team. Thanks to all the young people who spoke, the questions that came from various schools. Having schools on this platform made it more inclusive, where children's voices who come from vulnerable communities are highlighted, while children who come from privileged backgrounds, comfortable backgrounds, also support their voices, their mics, their platforms, so that this voice is amplified, not just the voices of the affluent. So thank you very much for sharing this space to create this most inclusive space in India. Thanks to all the school children, the technical team, all the people of the Pratik team who have been working tirelessly for months to put this together. It was not just a one-day event, but really the climax of lots of hard work went throughout the year. So thank you to Ima Di for anchoring and bringing your entire team together. From Pratik, thank you, Violet, the advocacy coordinator, as well as Preeti Kamble from Mumbai, Pune, for being the national coordinator, for all your zonal coordinators, including Martin and Niranjan from South India and Bihar, respectively, for really working so hard to really ensure that children's ideas and dreams, recommendations, and hopes all influence the agenda of India, and their recommendations are taken seriously while their stories become the backbone of our decision making. So thank you very much. And as Gandhi, who we celebrate today, would have said, when you come to a crossroad and you don't know what decision to take, picture the last person, the most poor, vulnerable person you've ever seen, and see how this decision is going to change this life. And we hope that our members of parliament present here and those that will be gathering in the hallowed halls of parliament in the next few days will keep this as their priority. Thanks to the Pratik staff and the NICP team. Thank you, Jeevan, Anisha, Aileen, Kunal, Violet, for your efforts in making this a possibility. And with that, I once again would like to congratulate as well as offer our support to all our young parliamentarians to ensure that your voices are truly heard by all decision makers and duty bearers. We will support you with analysis of, say, budgets, which is going to happen next 2 days, of you in the news, and give you summaries of that. Also, with your help, we would like to make a note of what parliamentarians are saying in parliament about children and our vulnerable Mother Earth. So thank you once again. And yes, I take the recommendation of our members of parliament here, who said you may not be voters, but we believe that your vote can be stronger than adults. And vote symbolizes the voice of the empowered. But today you've converted that voice and your vote to the voice of the endangered species, endangered planet, endangered peoples, and the voice of the excluded, really symbolizing what National Inclusive Children's Parliament is about. May this model provoke as well as inspire all of us adults to really be more listening and more attentive to the voice of the most excluded and genuinely work upon them. Thank you very much. Have a great day. May the spirit of Antodaya inspire the...
Steve, can we come in? Ima, you're saying something?
Yes. Steve, before you close this, I would like to thank our interpreters who have been speaking constantly despite of our digital challenges. So thank you, Kanwaljit ma'am. जितना भी इंग्लिश में हो रहा था, Kanwaljit ma'am हिंदी में उसको इंटरप्रेट कर. Jharna, you're out of the interpretation. All of you are in the main channel now. Your hard work stops here. Your struggle stops here. So thank you, Kanwaljit ma'am. Kanwaljit ma'am हमारे साथ जितना भी आपका इंग्लिश का था वो हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट कर रहे थे, इंटरप्रेट कर रहे थे. Treza was there with us to interpret from Hindi to English. Thank you, Treza, for joining us and cooperating with us with these digital challenges. Alok has been non-stop interpreting our interactions in Assamese. Thank you, Alok. And Lakshmanan was there to interpret in Tamil. So we had Tamil also going on. Thank you, Lakshmanan. Meetu ma'am had joined us for Bengali interpretation. She tried her best, but couldn't stay due to network issues. So Jharna jumped in. So thank you, Meetu ma'am, for taking out time for this. And Jharna, thank you for jumping in last minute. Thank you all.
Let's not forget Temsurenla, our sign interpreter also.
Of course.
So all these sign interpreters are really helping us really model what we're saying, to say, can we include the last voice? Unfortunately for us, Zoom only allows us 6 languages. Otherwise, we would have had the hundreds of languages that really represents India, including the most vulnerable and most vulnerable voice and languages of India too. So thank you once again, Temzurendla, for really modeling for us how to listen and how to communicate with children who may not be able to use words and speeches. So thank you once again, and over to our anchors.
Steve, I would like to come in here for a couple of things. First, we cannot close or thank enough the NICP team, Aksa, Chaya, Jharna, Vikas, Shilpa, Snehal, Neelam, Ankit, Soren, and Ima, of course, and Preeti, who has been managing all together. So thanks to each one of you for the whole month. You have been, for more than a month, I think, you have spent night and days to make sure that we come through this far. So thanks a lot. Also, we have Samarth with us. He couldn't ask his question, Steve. He would like to ask his question right now. And I told him that we will send his question to MPs also. Unfortunately, they have left the meeting, but we will definitely give him, and you can ask your question here and then we will close, Samarth. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Should I go ahead? Hello, ma'am.
Go ahead, Samarth.
Yes, Samarth.
Yes. नमस्कार, मेरा नाम है समर्थ भादुरी और ये है मेरा प्रश्न आपके सामने। SDG गोल नंबर 5 लैंगिक समानता, गोल नंबर 16 शांति, न्याय और मजबूत संस्थान विशेष रूप से LGBTQIA+ समुदाय का उल्लेख नहीं करते हैं। हालांकि इसे भारत में लैंगिक भेदभाव और मानव अधिकारों का मुद्दा बनाया गया है। अधिकांश लोग इसके बारे में पूरी तरह से अवगत नहीं है और अभी भी इसे वर्जित मानते हैं। भारत को LGBTQIA+ समुदाय के लिए अधिक समावेशी देश बनाने के लिए संभावित रूप से क्या कदम उठाए जा सकते हैं?
Thank you so much, Samarth. Over to the anchors.
Before the anchors say their final bit, can I request all those who are on the panel to please switch on your videos? We'll take a common photograph together, including the interpreters. Please turn on your videos. And while Violet thanked everybody on her team, she couldn't. And therefore, I take the opportunity to thank Violet for coordinating day and night this entire platform and all the reports and background work there. So thank you, Violet, for mentioning each person by name and really acknowledging the hard sweat and blood that went into putting all of this together. Thank you, Violet and her team. So over to the anchors.
Could you switch on your video as well? Sorry, Adiva. Everybody, please switch on your video. As we continue with the program, we will keep taking the screenshot. Thank you.
Bye. हम सभी अपने राष्ट्रगान नेशनल एंथम से प्यार करते हैं और इसे गर्व के साथ गाते हैं। हालांकि हमारे इनक्रेडिबल नेशन के लाखों बच्चे बचपन की बीमारियों के कारण हंगर, अब्यूज, एक्सक्लूजन और यहाँ तक कि डेथ का एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं। हम जो वीडियो देखने जा रहे हैं वह इस दुविधा को दर्शाता है। मैं आपको आमंत्रित करती हूँ कि आप इस गाने के आनंद से खुद को वंचित करें और इंडिया के हमारे कमजोर, एक्सक्लूडेड और अनसुने युवा नागरिकों के साथ एकजुटता से खड़े हों।
shall overcome. We shall overcome.
प्रोग्राम से जुड़ने और बाल अधिकारों को सराहने के लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद। हमारे साथ जो भी स्कूल, प्रिंसिपल्स, स्टेक होल्डर्स, स्टूडेंट्स, एनजीओस और वेल विशर्स जुड़े हैं, आप सभी का एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद। मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि बाल अधिकारों और चाइल्ड फ्रेंडली वर्ल्ड की हमारी और आपकी ये साझेदारी कंटिन्यू रहेगी। धन्यवाद।
Steve, we are good to close.
Can you play that song Kele Hum Ji Jaan Se? So just understand what children's parliaments are all about. But you are free to leave. If you have other commitments, please go ahead. But if you want to know what children's parliaments are about, here's a snippet of what children do on the ground level to ensure that child rights are a reality.